There's no better way to celebrate fall than with a delicious apple cake. I'm Sarah with Taste of Home, and I'm making a 2-layered apple spice cake. It's chunky, it's got warm spices, toasted walnuts, and it's topped with a sweet and tangy brown sugar cream cheese frosting. It is so delicious, and it's a great way to celebrate fall. If you love all these fall flavors but aren't in the mood for cake, that's okay. Make sure you check out our friends at Bustle. They put together a delicious recipe for handheld air-fried apple pies with brown sugar glaze. How delicious do these look? We're going to talk more about that after we make the cake. We'll get started with the apples. We have 1.5 pounds of Honeycrisp apples. Now, you don't have to use Honeycrisp. Any other firm apple will do. You want it to hold up to baking, so you could use Granny Smith or Fuji or Gala. Okay, I'm going to show you a really great way to cut apples for apple pies or desserts. So run your knife through almost half of the apple and then put the cut side down on the cutting board. And then run your knife through the other sides and you'll leave the core. And then you can cut the rest of the apple into rough 1-inch pieces. All right, so we've got our apples cut. And we're going to finish them in the food processor because we want them to be a little bit more finely chopped. I think that's about it. We're not making applesauce here, so I'm going to stop right there. Now, apples are going to add a lot of sweetness and delicious flavor, a lot of texture and moisture to the cake. We're going to move on to the batter. We've got 2 cups of sugar and a little bit of canola oil. This is an oil-based cake. 2 eggs. I always like to crack the eggs into a separate bowl and not right into the mixing bowl, in case I get any shell in there. And a little bit of vanilla. So we'll blend this together for just a little bit. That looks good, nice and blended, and now we're going to mix our dry ingredient. Now, pumpkin pie spice is key in this recipe, of course, and if you don't have pumpkin pie spice, you can make your own. It's a combination of cinnamon and ginger and clove and allspice, perhaps, and you're going to whisk that together with the flour, leavener, and some salt. All right, now we add this to the batter and we mix it alternately with the buttermilk. I like to turn it off when I'm adding the dry ingredients so I don't get a face full of flour, and we'll add more. And then I'm going to scrape it as well. All right, looks like we're all blended, and now we're going to stir in the apples that we processed a little bit in the food processor and the walnuts. All right, our batter is ready to go into the pans, and it looks wonderful. The smell is amazing. We have prepared 2 9-inch round baking pans, and I have some parchment in here with a little bit of butter underneath and on top, so these are ready to go. You don't need to flour these pans, which is great. We're going to do half in each pan. We're ready to pop these into the oven, 350 degrees, for about 35 to 40 minutes or until that toothpick comes out clean. It's time for the brown sugar cream cheese frosting, my favorite part of the cake. We start with a brick of cream cheese and a 1/2 cup of butter. Make sure that both of these are room temperature. And then we add the confectioner's sugar and some brown sugar. Now, I processed this a little bit so it's a little bit more finely ground. Here's regular brown sugar so you can see the difference. It's not a big deal if you use regular. It's just going to be a little grittier in the icing. No worries. A little bit of vanilla extract. And again, we've got our pumpkin pie spice. Here's the finished brown sugar frosting. It looks creamy and delicious, and we're ready to frost the cake layers. So what I've done here is a pretty sturdy, tall drinking glass, and I'm using kind of a large pastry bag, fit it over the edge, and then I'll fill that with the frosting. Okay, so here are the finished cake layers. We've let them cool, and I have them each on a cardboard round, and that's going to make it easier to work with the cakes and transfer them from the turntable to the cake platter. So you can see that these cakes are kind of craggy. The top is not smooth, it's bumpy, and that's because of the nuts and the apples, and that's okay. It's going to be a rustic, delicious, fall, beautiful, wonderful cake. Okay, we're ready to start with the frosting. I don't want to cut a whole lot off, so we'll start small. And I'm going to go around the cake, soft frosting. It's okay if there are some spaces between the circles. All right, put that aside, and I'm using a large offset spatula. So I hold it just like this, and I keep it steady, and then I move the turntable with my hand, and that'll make sure we've got a nice level, even layer of frosting on the cake. As level as we can get on this bumpy, lumpy cake. Now for the top layer, I'm just going to gently take off the bottom round and the parchment paper. Working quickly, place that right on top. And here again, I'm just going to apply the frosting with the decorating bag. And notice I'm not using a decorating tip. I just cut the corner off, and just going to do it this way. There's plenty of frosting. It might not look like it at first, but there is a lot of frosting. You can do a thin layer on the sides. You can go thicker. I kind of like the look of a rustic cake, so I want to see some of the cake through the frosting. So I had the cake in the refrigerator just to firm up the frosting a little bit, about 15-20 minutes. And now I'm ready to add the finishing touches with the toasted walnuts. Now, again, I'm going to keep the frosting kind of like rustic, kind of naked cake-ish, and I'll add these toasted walnuts to the edge of the cake on top. You could also press them into the sides if you wanted. Now these are toasted walnuts, which we also used in the cake batter, and the toasted flavor adds so much depth. It's really makes a big difference. So we'll sprinkle some of these on. And I'm doing this on our turntable before I transfer the cake to the finished platter. Also, I added a little bit of frosting into another pastry bag, and I have a star tip, and I'm going to add a little detail to the top of the cake. We'll see how this turns out. The frosting might be a little too warm. So now I'm going to move it from the turntable to the platter, and this is why it's great to have the cardboard round on the bottom. And there you have it, a gorgeous, delicious apple spice cake with brown sugar frosting. Now don't forget to head over to Bustle. Taste of Home inspired Bustle with this recipe, and their shortcut version is air-fried apple pies with brown sugar glaze, another delicious recipe. So enjoy, and happy fall, everyone.